As we're getting ready for graduation, we all think about our childhood. We look back on the key people who've impacted our lives, and one man seems to come to mind for me. That man is my grandpa, Mr. Larry Goodall. Throughout my childhood, my grandparents have often been my caretakers. My parents separated at a young age, and my dad worked a lot to support me, and my grandma worked as well, so a lot of times I was with Grandpa. He would take me with me when he was checking cows or when he was a janitor at the school, so I went with him everywhere. And each day, me and my grandpa would each have an ice cream cone, so we went through a lot of ice cream pails, so I literally have tens of pictures of just me wearing an ice cream pail as a hat. Not really sure why, but that's kind of my thing, I guess. And then as I grew older, I didn't get to see my grandpa as much, but each summer I would spend every day with him. He taught me things about the farm, or I would just run errands with him. So I did everything with my grandpa. My grandma tried to get me to be a little more girly. She would buy me dolls and Barbies and dresses, but I didn't want anything to do with any of those things. I wanted barns, I wanted cows, I wanted pigs, just like Grandpa. My favorite memory of my grandfather and I was 2 summers ago. I got a young horse from our neighbor for free, and we needed to learn how to train it, so my grandpa would help me. And there were so many times where I wanted to give up because I was so frustrated. I felt like I was doing nothing right, but my grandpa was always there to remind me that I needed to be patient and I needed to work with the animal, because instilling fear in them is going to get you nowhere. And I think a lot of the lessons that my grandfather has taught me have turned over into real life today. So even though he might have been talking about cattle or horses, that same lesson might apply into people or my job or what I'm doing today. So that's the one thing that my grandpa has taught me, is that you should always have patience with others, and that kindness will get you a long ways, and that being mean to people is going to get you nowhere. Now that I'm in high school, I don't get to see my grandparents as much, but every Sunday I sit between him and my grandma when I go to church, and I really like this day because I get to spend the whole day with my 2 favorite people in the world, because we all know that a great man can get nowhere without a great woman beside him. So I'd also like to thank my grandma for cooking for me every day at lunch my senior year. Really put on the senior 10, thanks Grandma. So I want to say thank you to my grandma. And then lastly, I want to say thank you to my grandpa, because he's really shown me my true calling in life. Through checking cattle with him, I've learned that I want to be just like my grandpa. That's why I'm going to go to college for 4 years and get my animal science degree. And hopefully one day I can have my own ranch just like Grandpa. So thank you, Grandpa. I love you.